to move. Last week, the idea was talking about the concept of how identity resolution works, and the value of it, the benefit. If you didn't get a chance to see that, you can go watch it. I think it's on our YouTube now, right, Sherry?
Yes, it's in YouTube.
Sherry, is it on our YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, great. So it's on our YouTube. You can go back and watch that if you didn't have a chance to see it. Sorry if there's a little bit of a delay, but all it takes is one good gust of wind and the internet goes a little bit haywire on me. So if that's the case, if it happens, we'll try to make it work. So now I want to talk about actually prospecting after these people. And I'm gonna share some scripts, some email scripts that have been working well for me, and also ads. And we're gonna start off talking about ads and so forth. But first off, just out of curiosity, have you guys ever heard of the people say the riches are in the niches? Have you ever heard that saying? It's a pretty popular saying. Sam's shaking his head. Yes. The thing that is interesting about that is our brains automatically, when we start thinking about niches, think about a vertical, like car dealers or chiro. But a niche doesn't have to be an industry. That's just one version of a niche. A niche can be a pain point you solve. A niche could be a very specific kind of business owner. For instance, a third generation business owner. That could be your niche. For instance, your vertical or your niche that you're going after, it could be just blatantly e-commerce. It doesn't have to be a specific kind of e-commerce. So I kind of want to take that back a little bit. He said, hey, the lowest cost per acquisition is when you go after a pain point. That is plain true for identity resolution as well. From what we're seeing, the lowest cost per acquisition is when you're going kind of broad market. You're not sticking to one specific industry, and that you are going after a pain point. What is the pain point? That you have a lot of traffic on your website, but your data is leaking. Your website's leaking data. That is the pain point. And everybody has it because unless they're doing identity resolution, guess what? Their website is leaking data, and most people are not using identity resolution on their websites. So that is the pain point that we're trying to solve. So think about people who are running paid ads right now. If someone's running paid ads, it's frustrating when you see that you've got all these clicks, 100 clicks, but only two or three people maybe filled out a form. That's frustrating for new advertisers or for business owners who don't fully understand the marketing behind, how that's just a part of life. That's just how the system works. So I have been finding that using that pain point of, hey, you're paying all this money for traffic, or you've got all this SEO in your so and your website's leaking holes. That's where I've been going. So what we're going to do is start off talking about Facebook ads, then we're going to talk about cold email, and we're going to talk about the messaging that you could do if you wanted to do cold calling. But I haven't done a ton of cold calling for this particular offer, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on that because I'm not a fan of teaching something that I'm not doing actively for a particular offer until I've proven it out. I don't want to waste anyone's time. So let's start off talking about ads. For anyone who's gone through any of my trainings, you'll know that I am a very big fan of using neuroscience to get appointments. And what I mean by that is I like to trigger the amygdala of people, and then it releases adrenaline. If you're not familiar with what the amygdala is, it is the innermost part of your brain. You have three different layers here. You got the amygdala, the limbic system, and the neocortex. All three of those systems you have to get through in order, or at least get working in the right way in order to be able to make a sale. And the amygdala doesn't think, it just reacts. So the amygdala is the part of our brain that we share with reptiles, with lizards, alligators, and an illustration I've used oftentimes when explaining this. If you've ever been to Florida, or if you've ever been anywhere where you see like an alligator laying up on the beach and he's kind of dry and he almost looks dead, and you're wondering, is he alive? How would you get that alligator to move? You'd have to either scare him or get him excited somehow. Maybe he's hungry. Uh, sexual desires. Hopefully that the alligator's not attracted to you. But the point is those are the things that would get an alligator to move. There's only so many triggers that you could have to get them to move. And that is because the amygdala is responsible for adrenaline. When something triggers our amygdala, it gets us excited. And then after that, it moves into our limbic system, where you things start becoming emotional, and then our neocortex gives our limbic system a logical permission to make a purchase, and we do it. So how do we use this to our benefit with appointments? Well, we can't tell people exactly what it is that we're doing unless they don't have the ability to do it without you. And that's something that's really cool about is that you can actually tell people exactly what you're doing and they have no clue how you're doing it. And it freaks them out until they get on a call with you and that's the best kind of an offer. For instance, how many of us avoided saying if we were running an agency, by the end of my career, when I was really going big in an agency, saying the word Facebook was like a quick turnoff. Like you tried to avoid saying Facebook ads because it was like everyone and their grandma was running Facebook ads. People had been burned by people running Facebook ads. And so you just kind of stayed away from it. The cool thing about this offer is people aren't really doing this. So you can literally say, hey, what if I could just put a script on your website and then get about 10 to 25% of those people to be able to figure out who they are, then send them through a legal and ethical email campaign that actually turns, about 25% of those people into actual paying customers or into actual leads. And I could do it for a fraction of your lead cost. You just told them exactly what you're doing, but they still don't know how you're doing it. In fact, I went through this about, let's say, 4 or 5 years ago. There was a guy that was talking about, how in-market data work and identity resolution was when it was first coming onto the scene, wasn't anywhere near as good as what we have now. And he's pushing this and he's charging high ticket. And I went down this rabbit hole where I just could not quit scavenging the internet. I was trying to figure out how in the world they're doing it, and I could not figure out how in the world they were doing it. Now we know how they're doing it. But the point is that you don't have to like try to come up with slick ways of telling people what you're doing because they're not going to be able to figure it out anyway, and without having your software. So let's start off with understanding how do we trigger the amygdala. We're going to trigger it by saying, hey, if you're running ads or you have a website that's got any level of SEO, did you know that like 95%, if not more, of the visitors that hit your website are just leaving? If you don't believe me, you can pause this video, go look at the analytics behind your website, and you are going to see that you had X amount of visits and only a small fraction of them, a very small fraction, actually filled anything out and filled out a form. Why is that? Clearly, something, by the way, sorry for the hat here, guys, I'm going to take it off. My head's itching. Clearly, something on your website got them, or in their searches, had them interested. Your headline, something where they clicked into it. So why'd they leave? Well, the reality is there's lots of reasons they could leave. But what if you could actually get about 20% of them, their emails, their names, know where they're at, they know you are, and you know what they were doing on your website, and then you were able to send them through a completely compliant, ethical email campaign, and we were able to actually get a large percentage of them to reply to that email and become paying leads. What would that do for your business? If you'd be interested in learning how we do this and how I can generate these leads for you for only 50 cents a pop, compare that to your Facebook leads that are $8 to $10, if not more, a piece. If I can do that at 50 cents a pop for you, uh, you know, whatever. And then you can, I'm just kind of walking to the edge. So if you're interested in this, click the link down below, schedule a call with me. So now here's what you do. Send them to a long funnel with all of the stuff and you show them how? No, that would be the worst thing you could do right now. Does anybody who's taken any of my classes before know what the next step is to do? Put it in the chat. Let me take a look and see here. Okay, awesome. He made book a call straight to Calendly. Exactly. You guys got it. And the reason for that is because if we send them to a funnel, the chances are, and we can do that later, but the chances that we're going to accidentally release some sort of dopamine or make them think that this isn't the right option for them, it's just too great. It's just too great that we're going to do that. We think we're infinitely wise, but we're not. We make those mistakes. Now, here's when you would do it. When you are so busy and you have so much revenue that there's just absolutely no way that you could function and continue to take more calls. That's when you could do it. So the strategy that I would do is go ads to Calendly, and then over time, when your calendar is now so booked up that you can't handle anything, go ads to Calendly, but do group calls where you've got maybe 5 to 10 people on a group call. And then when you're just like, I can't even handle that anymore, it's too much. You take your calls that you've been doing in group calls, which you've now dialed in. You could almost repeat with your eyes closed and your underwear on backwards, and you would then turn that into like a little mini demo that you could put on your website to get people, or on a funnel page to get people into it. If you guys notice, Consolidated just made a big change. Anybody know what the change is? You cannot go on our website and purchase our software. The only way that anybody can get into our platform anymore is if they book a demo. And you know why I'm doing that? The reason I'm doing that is because demos convert better than anything. I mean, you look at even companies like Hyros, they do demos. Demos convert better. It's frustrating for a lot of people because they want to know the price, they want to know things. You take that off. So we are going higher ticket and demos. That is the strategy for us over the next 6 months. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it. Yeah, she's doing okay. She does have a really bad, nasty cold, but she's doing okay. She it sucks when a newborn has a breathing issue because they really only breathe through their nose, very little through their mouth. So it's very freaky when they're struggling. But so, anyways, now we get them into yeah, Ben, thank you. So now that we've got them into a book call, next week we'll talk more about doing the demo, etc. So we're going to focus on that. But that's the ad strategy. And I would make multiple versions of the ads. And here's a really stupid thing that I don't know why it works, but it does. Test out the identity, or test out your ad using the same messaging with different outfits, different attire, even if it's the same copy. So I am not a person that can read from a script. In fact, I do a lot of speaking at our congregation. I do a lot of speaking at our at assemblies where multiple congregations come and gather, and I speak in front of them as well. And whenever they have a larger assembly, oftentimes they like the speaker to have their outline in front of them. So that way, if for some reason you were to forget what you were saying, or if you went out, you'd have a way to like get things back on track with that outline. So about 3 years ago, I was assigned my first talk at a larger assembly, and I go there and I give the talk, and having that outline made me so nervous because I'm not used to following an outline, that when I got out on stage, a little drop of pee, just a teeny little drop, came out and hit my leg, and it ran down my leg for the first 2 minutes of that talk, and then it hit my sock. Once it hit my sock and absorbed, I was good. But the whole time I could feel that thing draining down. I was not. I was, panicking in my mind. But the point is I don't do good with scripts. What I do good is with like just little bullet point outlines, and then I can just speak, and then I just keep going. So I do the same thing for my ads, because then you end up being just more energetic about it. So here's what I've been doing for ads that's been working really great for me. I take my phone, I put it on a tripod, and I put it on an angle in my RV. In fact, I've even been making these for clients in my RV. But it doesn't matter. You don't need to go buy an RV. The idea is just you need a nice, clean looking background. I like the blue lights. I don't know why. The blue lights seem to do really, really good for people. And I stand at an angle. For some reason, for me, the highest conversion is with my Meta glasses on. I've dialed that in. I don't know why. Couldn't tell you. People like the Meta glasses. You got to just figure out what works for you. I think that Alex Hormozy found that his nose strip got him higher conversion rate. That's my theory, because people just wear certain things or do certain things, and then you get going. You follow the pain, solution, offer format. So the pain, don't start off by saying, hey guys, my name is Ross from Consolidata, and blah. No one gives a crap who you are until they know what you can do for them. If you've got like 3 to 5 seconds to capture their attention, and if you start off with this, with a spiel about yourself, no one cares. In fact, most of my ads, I never even mention who I am. So that's with running your Facebook ads. Now, if you want to run that as a YouTube ad, it's a different strategy. I am a right now almost all of my ad spend has been in YouTube. Everything that I've been pretty much doing has been through YouTube. And what I do is I set up, I have videos that are on my YouTube channel, and you'll notice because like organically, I don't get that much traffic. If you were to go look at my YouTube channel, you'll see like, oh, he only got 30 views, 50 views, 100 views, 60,000 views, or, like whatever. It's because I'm running ads to those videos. I'm not a big YouTuber, but those other videos end up actually helping me. So what I do is I call it the YouTube funnel. If you run YouTube ads to a landing page, and you've got any sort of claims in your video, they just don't run it. They don't let. They say, hey, this isn't compliant, or this is clickbaity. This isn't gonna, this isn't something that's gonna work. But what you do is you create a YouTube video that is the real ad. It's the real ad, but you're never gonna run ads to it. And in that, you might say, hey guys, I'm going to show you in this video how you can actually capture data from your website. 3 easy steps. It's super simple. All you have to do is log in to the platform, whatever you named your platform, the white label version, and you add your website here. Then you're going to take this script, pop it into your website. Step number 3, go make yourself a cup of coffee. Watch the leads start rolling in, and you can send those to an email campaign, whatever you want. Now, if you're interested in setting this up for you, I'll help you set it up for free. As you saw, it's 3 little steps. You don't have to. You could charge a setup fee if you want. I can't, because people see Consolidata, they see my name, they know what it is, so I can't do the same things that you could do under a different brand. I'll help you set it up for free. It takes literally 5 minutes. Sherry's going to get on a Zoom with you, help you set it up, and you'll be ready to rock and roll. And you can have these leads rolling in next week. And guess what? There's no obligation. Like, you don't have to commit thousands of dollars right now to generate leads. If you've only got $300 to $500 to spend on leads, no problem. We'll load that in your account. You'll get $300 to $500 worth of leads. When they run out, if you've been converting them and you're making money off of them, you can load more spend. So you can kind of work it out that way. So that's the video. Then you run an ad. And the ad has to be educational, but you're driving the traffic to the video that you just made the ad on. So you're going to make an ad that's super educational and say, hey, and actually, if you want to learn how to do this, just click the link down below. It's not going to take you to another website. It's just going to take you to a different YouTube video, and you can watch the video on how to set it up. Now that they're on that video, you can make claims, you can get clickbaity, you can do all the things that you want, because that's what's in that particular video. So that's what I've been doing that's really been helping me out. So what does that educational style video look like? Well, you still want to pique their interest, but YouTube really likes high quality content and education. So here's how I would do it on something where it's, if I'm doing an education video. I would think about, what angle do I want to take? If it's their website's leaking, etc., I'm going to help them, educate them with it. So I'm going to say, hey, if you're spending any money on Facebook ads, YouTube ads, Google ads, you just give me just 60 seconds of your time, I promise you I'm going to lower your lead costs substantially. And I'm going to do it in this video, no strings attached. You're spending, on average, you're getting probably a 1.5% click-through rate. So let's say you're spending, whatever, you can give them some stats. Let's say that you're spending right now $3 per click. Every $300, you're getting 100 clicks to your website. I guarantee you're not getting 300 leads. In fact, if out of those 100 clicks, you're probably only getting 3 to 5 leads that actually come through. But what if, just by installing a little script into your website, you could all of a sudden now actually get 30 to 40 leads instead of the 3 to 5? You see, That's what we can help you do with the identity resolution. Now, what is identity resolution? There are data pools that are legal, they're ethical of people where we can grab someone's device information, grab the information from their cookies on their computer, nothing that's illegal, and we send it into our data pool, and it tells us, hey, this person was recently here. Boom, this is their information, this is their data, and it gives us their email, gives us their address, tells us who they are, etc. Now we don't do anything creepy with it. We're not going to start calling them, for instance, but there is nothing illegal about sending them a compliant email. For instance, let's say you're a used car dealer, they're visiting your website. There's nothing unethical about sending them an email that says, hey, here's the top 10 vehicles under $10,000 on our lot right now. Sending them, based off what they were looking at. And you provide an opt out if they don't want it. But we have found that by doing this, 1 in 4 people will actually respond. Now, the leads only cost us 50 cents to figure out who that is. So that means roughly every $2, we're getting a reply. Now, if you'd like to learn how you can set this up, implement this in your own business, I made another video for you. Click the link down below. You can watch that video and blah, blah, blah. So you're saying this in a way that is very educational. You're helping them do the math on it, etc. Everyone understand the ad strategy? And then always just send them to your calendar. Even on your website, I would recommend send them to a demo. Funnel everything to a demo. By the way, we have split test go high level calendars versus Calendly. Calendly wins every single time. In fact, we've ran campaigns where we're getting 0 results with the go high level calendar, change nothing else other than the Calendly link, and it starts working. Couldn't tell you why. Maybe page load speed. I just don't know. Okay, guys, now let's go through the email strategy. Email is always a little goofy because I hate to say it, it's a little strange, right? Cold emailing, like you have to get a subject headline that's going to really grab their attention, and then you got to find a way to like make yourself not look like a douchebag because you did that. That's otherwise people just end up deleting email. So I'm going to give you guys a premise here for an email, and you guys can. I'm going to share my screen. You guys can take a picture of it. You feel free to just copy it blatantly. I don't mind. At some point, it's going to quit working because everyone's going to blatantly copy it. Totally fine by me. Subject line here is warning: your website is leaking data. I sent out about 10,000 emails in total. And out of that, I split it up. Basically, I had 3 different headlines. This is the one that worked best, got the highest open rate, warning your website is leaking data. So then I just say, hey, my name's Ross. I don't do that in a video ad, but I do that in an email because I want them to know right away who the heck I am. I'm trying to build a little trust or something with them out of the gate. I'm just reaching out because your website, make sure you have the merge tags in there. Your website is actually leaking data. No, I'm not a Nigerian prince. And then I just put ha. In fact, I'd be happy to hop on a Zoom call from my place here in Wisconsin with you. But I noticed you are getting about, and I put how many visits per month on your site. Only about 2 to 3% filling out any contact forms. Just to put that into perspective, if you made one tweak to your website, you would instantly get 15 to 20% more leads without changing anything else. When would you like to hop on a call and I'll help you? I even left my typo, by the way. That's exactly how I sent it out with the typo. I won't charge for a dime, or I won't charge a dime for the call, and this is something your team will fully be able to implement without me after we talk. Thanks, Ross. So I got quite a few replies. I don't want to make up a fake number because I actually didn't count the replies, but that's the amount of replies that that we do that. So how are you getting the date of your visits here? Oh, that I just copied my email and put it in there and put there. So here's how I've been doing. I kind of hacked it out. So I did a bulk load into SimilarWeb, got all that data from there. However, I am building a tool to make this easier for myself. I haven't decided if it's something that I'm going to expand and let other people utilize yet. I just started building this thing out. But what this is essentially going to do for me is like I could go in and add businesses. So for instance, if I add in here, let's just put restaurant, let's put dentist. This is just something that I just started building out today, so it's not very polished. I'm just doing it for myself, as I said, but maybe at some point I'll say, hey, this is open to others as well. It allows me to go like this, start scraping, show you guys what the plan is here. My goal is I find that the best for some reason the best reply rates for me come from Gmail accounts that I'm rotating, warmed up Gmail accounts that I rotate, where I'm only sending a small amount on these per day. So this and then this pulls this, and then what the plan is when you click on this, I think my API hit its limit, so I have to upgrade. I don't think it's going to work. I think it's going to stay update 0. But the idea is that it was working earlier before I hit my rate limit on it. It fills in what the traffic stats are here for me, and then extracts the emails from the website, just like Hunter.io does, and then I'll be able to send that into a campaign. I'm trying to streamline the process for myself. Yeah, it didn't pull in, it didn't extract from these, but I'm using just my own developer APIs and stuff like that. So that is something that you can work on, and you could do something like that. Is traffic data for similar? Is it? Yeah, it's using similar web for traffic data. Exactly. So it's all estimated, obviously. How many? Of course you are. See here. Yeah, so anyways, you guys kind of see what I'm working on. It's more for internal use, but maybe at some point if I can get scale API scalable to where you can have, but that's essentially what I'm doing. But you'd be fine even just sending 20 a day personalized emails to people, have like a little template, even if you had to manually do some of it, and that would be totally fine. What my goal is with that is to set it up to where I can either rotate through Gmail accounts. There's another platform with an API called MailReef that I'm looking at utilizing, because I can then just purchase pre-warmed up email accounts from them and use that also. The idea is that you just want like multiple things. Like you could have a LinkedIn automation running too. Have you guys ever used Ulink or any tools like that? Like there's no reason why you couldn't have. I got a fly that is driving me up the wall. Anyways, there's no reason why you couldn't use something like that in for your prospecting as well. Okay. So with those thoughts in mind, anybody have any questions?
I've
Let's
got a
open it
couple of
up a little bit.
questions.
Yeah, let's shoot.
Cool. So first for the Gmail, for the cold email, do you use the at Gmail like a personal one or the business account?
So if you're doing them one by one, manually sending them, then I would recommend using a personal account.
Okay.
If you are going to use a business one, because some softwares only allow you to use a personal one or a business one, don't use a domain that is tied to your legitimate business, because you will
Okay.
burn it up probably at some point. Lemlist, these different tools, you can warm up your emails with them.
Okay. Second thing is like, let's say once we get a client, setting up the identity resolution is pretty easy. I think the harder part is setting up, like having to create a warmed up domain for each different business, setting up the automations, and all of that stuff on the back end. One, I don't know if you're going to talk about how to set all that up, but two, I had an idea of just starting with direct mail, like right away, just to get them started. I talked to the Mailbox Power guys. I got on a call with them because you recommended them, and that seems like a pretty good route to just like get them started quick while you set up all the automations. What's your thought on that?
Yeah, I like it. The only thing that I would say in why I would at least try to get email in like ASAP is that the mailbox power, while it's an incredibly powerful and cool tool, is a longer sales cycle to results.
Hmm.
So if you're trying to get them to re-up monthly or to keep putting money into it, you want to find a way to show them that this is working right out of the gate. and it might take them a month before they start seeing mailers coming back to them or people coming in because of the mailers. It might take a little bit of time. So I would say that the quicker you can get email rolling, the better. If you are using, say, Go High Level, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're using Go High Level, they have their LC email tool, and you could set them up on like that, and that would be just fine, and you could get them going pretty quick on that, and that way you could start sending emails, right out of the gate.
Okay. And then last question is I got set up today, so with the 50,000 credits, and I know it's 12 cents per lead resolved. So how does that translate into credits? Is it 60
That's
credits?
Yeah, 60 credits.
All right, cool.
Yep. Yeah, what the reason why we do that is because whether you're using the Google My Business listing, the Google rank tracking, or the other thing, we're trying to not make it because there's people who they uploaded, they have a bunch of credits for the GMB rank tracking, and then they also want to use the identity resolution. And I didn't want to be like, well, you also got to load credits there, and you also got to load credits there. I wanted them to be fairly universal, so we just try to make it where it's the appropriate amount based off the cost.
Cool. Awesome. And the last thing is, I know it's gonna be different for each cold email and each ad, but do you have some like KPIs you can share of like out of 1,000 cold emails sent or like on ad spend what you're getting like calls booked and maybe even the show
Did
rate
you
on
get
some of those?
Yeah, did you get a chance by any chance to watch last week's call?
I did, yeah.
Okay, because I went through a lot of those stats on there. I don't
Okay.
have them pulled up in front of me anymore, so my brain, I'd have to go look. I don't want to just make up numbers without looking at my Word docs and stuff that I had. But if
Mhm.
you go back, I did go through the stats that we had on them. I want to
Okay.
say it was like 1 in 4 people replied, and so it's just going to be based off of your it's going to be actually no, I take that back. I think it was 2 in 10 people replied, which is kind of close.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the identity resolution email. I'm talking about like just reaching out to businesses. Is it gonna be more or less the
Oh,
same?
yeah. Well, I'm everything that I've been seeing is about a 2% reply rate. That's
2%?
about average. Yeah, 2 to 3% reply rate.
Okay. 2 to 3. Cool. And then
Yeah,
ads
a lot of
booked
people.
calls for
Yeah, and
40,
that's how.
$50.
Say that one more time.
For the ads, like ads to Calendly, it's like what, 40, $50 per booked call, something like that?
Yeah, I would actually go make the spread a little further, depending on your
Mhm.
level of skill set with running ads. I'd say you're probably going to be anywhere from $40 to $120 per booked
Mhm.
call. But I'll tell you, the lowest cost per conversion always comes on mobile phones. So I don't even run desktop ads on a anymore,
Mhm.
um, because it's almost double the cost for me. So I always look at it and I think, well, I'd rather just spend all that money on a mobile and get 2 leads instead of one, even if one would come in through desktop. And then the other thing is I've also found targeting other software companies tends to work really good. Like if I target HubSpot, MailChimp, and then I click on suggested and it pulls up all the other, software companies that other people target. For some reason, it works good. I think it's just because you get more tech-minded people who are already in the day-to-day grind of marketing and sales, and they already value.
Okay. And then I guess last thing, YouTube versus Facebook. Are you seeing better results with YouTube? Because you mentioned, you're going full YouTube pretty much.
Well, it's not instant results aren't better on YouTube. If you're wanting instant cash flow, Facebook's probably going to get you that quicker. The thing for me is I got a little bit of a long-term strategy going on personally where I'm trying to build my brand and so forth. And
Mhm.
if you look, let me see if I can pull this up. Um, look. My legs are sore. Yesterday was leg day. Let's see here. Switch channels.
Sorry, one more thing. You said about 2 to 3% reply rate on the emails. That's just a positive reply. How many of those are booking calls?
Um, yeah, that's just a reply rate. You're probably going to get maybe, I'd say maybe half of the people that are replying will book a call because some of those replies might be someone telling you to piss off. So, as you guys know, I'm not this massive influencer. I don't have like gazillions of subscribers and stuff like that. But if you notice, in my channel analytics, you can almost see when we started running more ads. All of a sudden, our subscribers started going up, and so that's one of the things that we've been trying to really hone in is running more ads, getting more subscribers, growing our videos, stuff like that. Now, if that's not your strategy, then you might just be on Facebook as well. But I'm trying to grow an actual brand. Let's see here. Let's see. Will today's meeting be on the YouTube channel or the private community? I want to re-listen the explanation you're going through. Yeah, so we'll probably put it right on the YouTube channel. Um, the benefit of being in the live, as a paid user is the interaction where you can ask questions and this and that. Everyone else just has to listen to other people. But I think it's benefit because even people in the future who sign up for Consolidated, they'll be able to listen to this. What would the identity resolution reply email look like to get them engaged? Okay, so they might, if I mean, at the end, I had a direct call to action like, hey, if you'd like to book a call, let me know. I tested putting my email in there versus not. It doesn't matter. If you put if you put your calendar in the actual email, you will still get booked calls and it's more hands off. You get more booked calls if you manually set them. You can see that fly driving me nuts. One fly in here going nuts. So they might say, yeah, we could hop on a call. And then I just send them a message back, hey, would this time at this time work? Yep, okay. Or, hey, here's my calendar link, or is there a good phone number I can call you at to set that up? You can, whatever feels natural, just be a human. Just be a human and it'll work. Okay. Any other questions? Let's see. I mean, when a lead is identified with the ID resolution, what would the email look like to send the lead? Oh, we actually went over that last week as well. So if you didn't get a chance to watch that video, it's on there. But just to give you a little gist of it, um, it depends on why they were on their website. Like if it's a car dealer, you might say, "Hey, here's the top 10 cars under $25,000." Or if it's and maybe even go after the pain point, like we can finance a vehicle at, 6% interest, blah 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 blah, you know, up to whatever credit score, whatever it might be. So you just kind of gotta come at them with what you think it is that they're looking for. Will today's meeting be on the YouTube? Oh, okay. Well, I think I answered that one already, so we should be good with that. Oh, you were going through numbers. Yeah, I did that all in the video last week. Yeah. Okay. I think that's pretty good. So then next week, what I was thinking, just to kind of give you guys a little cliffhanger, what your whistle, so to speak, is going to be about the demos. So when you actually get on the call, how to conduct it, what to say, how to get them to close, and then you guys can change your positioning however you want as far as on the price. But I would split that for sure. Awesome. Well, guys, I appreciate you. We're got a solid 45-minute little coaching call here. Thanks for jumping into today instead of yesterday. Apologize about that. Let me take a quick look at one thing. It might be, yeah, so next week Sherry, if you could send this in an email. Next week we are actually going to do our coaching call on Wednesday instead of Thursday or Friday. Because on Thursday I'm actually leaving for another camping trip. In the summer, we camp a lot. So I'm leaving on Thursday for another camping trip, so I prefer to not have to worry about what the internet's going to be like when I get there. Right on, guys. Keep on keeping on. Have a nice weekend.